What are we? Yeah, what were we looking at? What are we looking at here?
So yeah, typically when I draw maps, so I draw my maps in Photoshop, and I have a drawing tablet. So I kind of use a pen here, and I've got this little like button kind of remote, if you will, that kind of allows me to toggle between different things. And I use a Wacom tablet. I used to have an XP pen tablet, which was actually really good, and it's probably better for people starting out because it's a lot cheaper. But now I kind of upgraded to a Wacom tablet, and it's been really nice to use. And so I'm actually drawing directly on the screen. You'll only be able to see the cursor, but yeah. So really, I just kind of draw directly on the screen, and then I kind of sketched out just I usually start out with a very simple sketch like this, and of course this is a really small group of islands or something, but obviously maps can be whatever size depending on what the needs are, but I figured I'd do a small one for you guys so I can at least get a decent way through it. But yeah, so I'll just start kind of drawing over this sketch that I have here, and we can kind of keep talking as I do it. But yeah,
so right now you're basically doing the lay of the land, and you're just highlighting it with a darker shade of gray, I guess, or like a black. Interesting.
Right. So Photoshop is the beauty of Photoshop is that everything can be on its own layer, so you can kind of turn things on and off, and so yeah, I kind of drew a sketch and then kind of turned the opacity of it down so it's a little bit lighter in the background, and now I'm kind of going over the top of it with a little bit more detail line, but kind of the ridges of these mountains begin to kind of define a more three-dimensional view. So I mean, you can obviously, there's probably hundreds of ways to draw a map. I tend to like maps that kind of pop off the page a little bit, have a little bit of three-dimensionality to them, and so my mountains I like to have them kind of popping up over, and so like this land in the background kind of.
You think you can throw in a little volcano just for fun?
Yeah, I'm planning to do that. I think this will be
nice.
We'll see how far we get in that, but yeah, we'll definitely try and do a volcano for you there.
Do you name your maps like this is the map of the imaginary place of?
So most of the maps I've made have either been of a real place and kind of reinterpreted to be like a fantasy realm. So maybe a real city as if scaled up. So I've done Philadelphia and Austin, Texas, and I'm working on some other ones too. But basically the idea is that, the neighborhoods become the cities, and little landmarks become, so like a barbecue place in Austin can become like a tavern or something.
Graham, could you show us that? Do you have it like on you, like before, after of like a city, and how you turn it into like a map? I don't know if that's if you
I can kind of show you. Let's see.
Because that looks that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I was wondering the same thing. I was also wondering, like, are these cities fictional? Because they're fictional, but they're also like realistic. So I wasn't
right. And so I mean, I that's kind of how I started, was drawing maps of real places, because it was kind of easier to not worry too much about where things were going and kind of focus on my general skill of drawing the map itself. And so I'll open up Philadelphia for you. I'm not sure how familiar you are with that city, but maybe if you've seen Rocky or something, you know a little bit about Philly. but yeah, I think so. I kind of started with that idea, but now since then I've had people approach me to do the maps of their worlds, and then of course it's kind of up to them to come up with the names that they want. Although sometimes I'm happy to collaborate a little bit, and I with a name here or there. But for the most part, yeah, the names are usually